Final Fantasy as a series has provided gamers with some of the best moments in gaming. Some of these moments are adrenaline filling, some moments of shock and awe, and some utterly heartbreaking moments as well. And today we are going to focus on the latter. So let's look at 6 heartbreaking moments in Final Fantasy. Let's go. So starting off the list of heartbreak is Vivi and the Black Mages from Final Fantasy IX. Now the fan favourite Black Mage from Final Fantasy IX is unaware of how his existence came to be. Now during the early hours of Final Fantasy IX, we find our parties Zidane, Vivi, Steiner and Garnet in a small little village. Now during their time in this suspicious village where there is no adult supervision, Vivi is kidnapped and taken into an underground factory. This is where we start to see events unfold, where we discover that Black Mages are created with the mysterious mist which covers the continent. Now this shocking revelation for Vivi brings in a bout of different emotions, from the likes of joy, shock and horror. Now the heartbreak occurs when our team have stolen away on an airship and the living Black Mage dolls won't respond to Vivi, and then later they get attacked and there's mass explosions and all these Black Mage dolls are falling out of the sky, and you can see the emotion on Vivi's face, well, his 2 little eyes. And from here this just brings more questions about Vivi's existence, and you just know this is heartbreaking for our character. Now next on this list is the plate collapse from Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now I've specifically chosen Final Fantasy VII Remake over Final Fantasy VII Original for a reason. Now the main reason for this is that Final Fantasy VII Remake expands on this compared to its original counterpart. With the remake we've become more invested with the likes of Wedge, Biggs and Jessie, the likes of Sector 7 and its community. And the way that this is portrayed in the Final Fantasy VII Remake is just horrifying. From defending the pillar where we see the demise of Jessie and Biggs. Now the moment which hits hardest for me is when Aerith is going to 7th Heaven to save Marlene. Now it really struck hard for me, being a parent as well. No one wants to see a child upset and scared. The moment that Marlene asks, "Are they going to destroy my house?" is just so heartbreaking. And to top it off, when we see Yuffie in her DLC episode where she sees the plate drop from a different perspective, and even that affects our happy shuriken wielding ninja. It's just so heartbreaking. Did this moment hit you hard or did it not? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's see what's next. So the next heartbreaking moment is the last campfire in Final Fantasy XV. Now at this point of the story, our hero Noctis has been in status in a crystal for 10 years. When he gets back, he discovers how long he has been away and that the world has been submerged in darkness, and his nemesis Ardyn Izunia has taken over Insomnia City. Now the scene in question is when Noctis is finally regrouped with his party, Gladio, Ignis and Prompto. Now Noctis does know his fate, that he will die if he takes on Ardyn. Now Noctis as a character does struggle to speak his feelings, speak his thoughts, and here, after 10 years being stuck in status, and this being the last chance to speak to his party, we see him try his best to get those words out of his mouth to tell his party how much he cares about them and the journey they have been through together. You can feel the struggle in every word that he says. Now as a fan of Final Fantasy XV, it was quite hard to watch this because I grew to love these 4 characters in their adventures, and knowing that this would be the last stand that we would have together, just so tough, man. But what did you think of this moment in Final Fantasy XV? Did you think it was good, or did you think, nah, you're speaking rubbish? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's see what's next. Now, probably one of the most famous scenes is the sending from Final Fantasy X. Now, in this scene, we see Yuna, our summoner, performing the sending to send the dead spirits to the far plane. And it truly shows the harrowing world that Spira is, with Sin always lurking in the background. Sin brings a constant cycle of death to the land of Spira. Now, it may be a spectacle with beauty, with dancing on the water and the fireflies going to the far plane, but it's just a true reminder of the horrific world that these characters live in. And the fact that this is a regular happening to the citizens of Spira is just even more heartbreaking. Do you agree with me here, or do you not agree? Let me know down below, and let's see what's next. Now, of course, it was going to be here, The Last Stand from Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. Now, in the original Final Fantasy VII, we did discover the fate of Zack Fair. But with Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, a prequel to the original game, it all gave us that gut-wrench feeling when we knew this part was coming. After all the hardships that Zack Fair had during his journey in Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, to be brought to a bitter end as he faced off against the Shinra army. Now, I can't have been the only one who thought when playing Crisis Core that we'd actually be able to beat the Shinra army, although how hard we tried to do so. And I think especially with Crisis Core Reunion, everyone thought that there was going to be something extra with what happened in the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but no, they stayed true and Zack still meets the same fate. And as Zack famously says, the price of freedom is steep. Now, the final heartbreak in this is the Chocobo in Final Fantasy Type 0. And this is where we see a Chocobo defend its rider to the literal death. Final Fantasy Type O did not hold its punches depicting war. And when we all saw this scene, I mean, come on, that's a dead Chocobo. How? Why? I couldn't have been the only one that saw that and go, oh my god, this is dark. Now, that might be a short entry, but that moment has always stuck with me. So there we have it, 6 heartbreaking moments in Final Fantasy. Have you any moments that should have been on this list? Let me know down below. And please help me grow the channel by liking, sharing and subscribing. But until next time, tatty bye.